Most business advice is built on one key assumption, that what worked for someone else will work for you too. The Nourished CEO podcast exists to challenge that assumption and point to a better way. I'm Laura Schoenfeld, strategic advisor and business coach with over 15 years of experience online and multiple millions of dollars earned from my own business. I'm also a mom of two and a devoted wife who runs it all in about 20 hours a week. This show is for the established coach, consultant, or service provider who is done following someone else's playbook and is ready to build a joyful, profitable business from their own authority. Every episode is a direct, no-filters conversation about the real challenges you're facing in your business, with honest strategy and practical action steps that you can actually use right now. Because working smarter and building something sustainable matters a lot more than just chasing a bigger number. No recycled advice or empty inspiration here, just honest, integrity-driven conversations about building a business that fits your life as much as it fits your goals, so that it gives more than it takes while nourishing everything you're building outside of it. If that sounds like the breath of fresh air you're looking for, you're in the right place. Hey there, welcome back to the Nourished CEO podcast. I'm your host, Laura Schoenfeld, and I'm officially back after my summer interview series. So I think we ended up doing like 6 interviews over the summer, which is a lot. Normally I only do 1 or 2 interviews a month, and I just kind of hit this moment over I think it was June, honestly, where I realized I needed a little bit of a break from creating content because of some of the work that I'm doing behind the scenes to reorganize and reposition my business. That on top of the fact that I feel like this is the first year we've really had that summer type of experience. So my older daughter's 4, my younger daughter is 18 months. And up until this year, I feel like most summers were kind of just hot childcare days, right? Like not necessarily a different schedule or different season, but this summer we actually put my 4-year-old in a part-time YMCA summer camp. And so we had a little bit more of a formal summer structure. And then for us, my family, June is really busy. We have like my daughter's birthday, Father's Day, my anniversary, like a lot of things happening in June. And I realized moving forward, I think I want to be taking a solid chunk of time off in the summer anyway. So I figured step 1 could be to pull myself off the constant content creation cycle and just put up those interviews so that you guys could keep getting good content, which is obviously important, but also that I could take a little bit of a break from having to think about what to post or think about what to talk about for a period of time. I think it was 6 weeks. It felt very fast for me. I feel like it felt like 2 weeks. And so today I'm getting back to recording my solo episodes. And what I wanted to talk today about is this idea of personalizing your business model. So this is a concept that I have been really diving into this year in general, because I've just realized that so many of us, myself included, have been unduly influenced by whether it's peers or coaches or competitors or whatever, right? Like fill in the blank, the different places you could be influenced by. I mean, you can even be influenced by people you follow on social media or ads that you're seeing. But I think a lot of us have been influenced in our business models about what to actually create without having any sort of filter to run it through to determine if it's actually a good next step for us. And I've been through that myself. I had a few years where I had transitioned my signature offer to evergreen from a cohort model, and it made money for sure. It wasn't like it wasn't making money, but it was definitely not a fit for me, my personality, the way I like to work with clients, the energy that I like to bring to my clients. And so that was a bit of I don't want to say an expensive lesson, but kind of an expensive lesson in the sense that I spent a lot of money and time and effort to build something because I thought, okay, this is the model that is supposedly better for the stage of life that I'm in, for the goals that I have. And it wasn't the better fit for me. And so that really started me on this journey of figuring out, okay, how do you figure out what business model is actually a good fit for you, because I truly believe there's probably dozens of different options, if not more, that actually work in the online space. Yes, I know the industry has shifted. There's a lot of stuff that's changed, but people are still making money. People are still making good money online. And there's so many different ways you can do it, right? I even think about some of the more big launches that have happened in our space recently. So if you guys have seen anything with Jessie Jean, the person who launched the App Challenge, a $297 course, I bought it. A few of my clients bought it. I think at this point she's done like over $6 million from that course in the last few months, which is absolutely insane. Not a normal result, especially for a new offer with a $300 price tag. But so that's one example of a course that is done extremely well, possibly even better than any individual course ever did in, 2020, 2021, 2022, where our industry was a lot, honestly easier to make sales in than it is now. We definitely had a bump in demand and interest and spending in the online space in that like COVID, 3 years after the COVID stuff happened. But honestly, Jessie Jean's launch, I don't think I've ever heard of anything like that in the 14 years of business that I've been in. So that is something that demonstrated that a low ticket course can be extremely desirable and profitable. And then on the other side of that, I was familiar and following along with a woman named Callan Faulkner who launched relaunched at this point. It's a existing program that she relaunched that teaches people how to build an AI team for their business. And this offer, I think, don't quote me on this because I didn't buy it, but I think that offer was like $9,000. So a very high ticket group program. And I don't know the exact numbers for her, but I'm pretty sure she did over $10 million in that launch that she just did. Definitely like multiple millions. I think she had over 1,000 people join, and that's a $9,000 offer. So both of those launches that have happened recently to me indicate that, first of all, money is still being made. I know people think that the industry right now it's harder, which it is. It is harder. I'm not going to lie and say it's not harder. But the people who are adapting, people like Jessie Jean, people like Callan Faulkner, I've seen my own revenue going higher this second half of the year, which is really exciting. There are opportunities to make money. I work with plenty of clients who are hitting 20, 30, 40K months in their health businesses. So it's not just B2B, it's also B2C. It's something where there is absolutely opportunity right now. And the reason I'm bringing up Jessie Jean and Callan Faulkner is because their offers are almost as different as you could imagine, right? A under $300 course and a $9,000 group program. I myself am selling anything from like $10,000 to $30,000 offers. Some of those are one-on-one services. People are spending money and people are buying things, and programs are still being bought, whether it's a low ticket course or a high ticket one-on-one or something in between. So I just wanted to preface this conversation with that idea, because I do think a lot of people think that there is some specific type of business that's working really well, and it truly is not that. I believe that what's working well right now is having a business model that fits you, that fits the people you want to work with, and is a win-win for both you and the circumstances and personality type and all of that you have for yourself, and also a win for the people that you want to work with and how you want to serve them. So we're going to talk about this because I do think that the more you can grasp this concept that almost any business model that you've ever heard of is working for somebody, the more you can understand that there's no secret. There's no, this is the latest thing that everybody needs to be doing. Or, even with Jessie Jean selling the App Challenge, we're going to talk about this. I joined it. I actually think it's a very high quality course. I for sure would endorse spending $300 on it. The value for what you pay for that course is great. So I want to preface it with that. What I will say is not everybody needs to be doing Yap videos, and probably a lot of people shouldn't be doing Yap videos for their content, but you can probably see that Instagram is full of Yap videos right now because, again, Jessie, I think, sold to like 16,000 people, and so there's a lot of people putting out Yap videos right now. I am not anti-Yap videos. I like doing them myself. I'd like to actually start doing more of them. I mentioned earlier I took a bit of a break from creating new content while I'm in this repositioning season. But that said, I do not think everybody should be doing Yap videos. So it's this idea that we get told that there's certain things that everybody needs to be doing, and it's not true. And I want this episode to give you not only the permission to say that's not true for me, or, I can decide what's true for myself, but also to start thinking about what is true for you and creating from that, because ultimately you get to create whatever you want. That's one of the things I love so much about being an online business owner, is that we can truly create pretty much anything that we want to create, and we can make money from it. And the more we really lean into what we're naturally talented at, the way that we like to show up, the way that we show up when we're with our friends and our loved ones, the way that we show up when we're with our best fit clients, like if we can really capture all of that and bake it into our business model, making money online will be fun and a lot easier. And I'm not going to say it's easy, because I hate that. I hate when people are like making everything sound like it's just going to be this like super easy journey. It is not. Anyone I know that's making money online actually is working hard, right? Like, it doesn't mean you're working nonstop. It just means you're doing things that are difficult. You're dealing with challenges. There's never a point where it's just easy breezy sipping Mai Tais on the beach, right? But that said, it's a lot easier to run a profitable business that takes your personality, your skill sets, and your circumstances into account. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to also share with you an opportunity to learn more about this concept of personalizing your business and really baking who you are into your business so that showing up feels good. Even when you do hard things, even if it's like, oh, it's a little nerve-wracking, or, ooh, there's a little bit of resistance, because, we all have experiences where visibility feels nervous, right? Or nerve-wracking. It doesn't mean everything is rainbows and butterflies. It just means that you do not feel like you're going against who you are and white knuckling the entire experience to be able to grow your business. So that's the concept for today's conversation. And I really want you to be able to walk away from this knowing what to think about before you buy any more strategies, any courses, any coaching, any group programs. I am totally a fan of buying things. I have recently signed up to work with a one-on-one coach. I did buy Jessie Jean's $300 course. Like, I am a constant investor in my own business. And I think understanding what you actually need is really, really important for being able to invest wisely, because we've all been there. We've all been there where we think maybe we should buy something. Actually, full disclosure, I was just there a few months ago with Kellen Faulkner's launch of this AI program. I think it's called Automate to Accelerate. I honestly don't even know. But I watched her entire 4-hour webinar, which is a little bit weird. I don't usually sit for that stuff, but it was honestly a really good webinar. And I did consider buying her program. The reason I didn't is because I had the self-awareness and discernment to say, in this particular season of my business, building a team of AI employees is not actually the best use of my time and not going to give me the best ROI right now. It doesn't mean I won't do it in the future. It doesn't mean I don't see the value in that skill. It just means that in this exact moment, for the next 3 to 6 months, building an AI team is not the thing that I need to be spending my time doing. So that was really why I decided not to invest in that program. And then investing in Jessie Jean's program, I was like, honestly, $397 is at this point pocket change for my business. And there's probably some cool things I could learn. And even if I get one high quality tip about content creation, it's worth it. So I did buy hers, but it was a lot lower of a decision risk, right? Like a $397 course versus a $9,000 program. I didn't have to really deliberate that much to think about buying a course. But that said, it was also aligned with the way I like to communicate. I like to talk. I like to show up on video. I like to be really out there with opinions and hot takes and different perspectives and belief shifts and stuff. So the format of those Yap videos is actually a match for the way I like to create content. So we're going to talk about that. But that is something where even at a $397 price point, I'm still discerning whether or not it's something that would actually be a fit for me and the business that I'm building. So we've all been in situations before, as I was saying, where we're thinking about buying an offer, a course, a coaching program, maybe signing up for a mastermind or a one-on-one service, and we're just feeling torn about it. If you're anything like me, you've spent a lot of money on various types of business education. I think for me personally, I've spent at least over $400,000 in the last 10 years of owning a business, which when I say it out loud, it sounds crazy, but I've learned a lot and I use those skills to help my clients. So it's all been worth it. But that said, we've all gotten to a place where we've spent money on our business, and sometimes it's been great and sometimes it's not been great. And now we're in this place where we're really trying to figure out, okay, what is the best use of my money and my time? Because it's not just money, it's time, right? Like we all have limited time. I have even less time than I used to have because now I have 2 kids, and we all want to be smart about what we're putting our attention towards, our energy towards, our time and our money towards. And sometimes it can be hard to figure out what is the best next step. What's the best next strategy? Do I even need another strategy? Is the strategy that I'm doing even a good fit? Do I need to change it altogether, or should I just double down what I'm working on? That is usually the part that a lot of my clients get stuck on because they feel like they've done everything they were told to do, and everything that maybe was working for them a couple years ago isn't really working for them anymore. And then they start to question, okay, is it me? Is it the strategy? Is my business like just on this downturn and it's just, heading towards a crash and burn? Or do I just need a new strategy, right? And so that deliberation can really throw a lot of people off course, and actually can be the root cause of a drop in revenue because you're so consumed and distracted by, do I need a different strategy, or what strategy do I need, that you're not even really executing the strategies that you already have, that you know how to get clients from, or the kind of content or visibility or marketing that you've already done before and you could keep doing, but you're so swirling around this decision about what's next, what do I do, do I change, do I need to change anything, that all takes you away from the things that actually grow your business. So that's why I wanted to talk about this, because if you can really understand who you are, what your strengths are, what part of your business is the most effective, both in the marketing, sales, and delivery side of things, then that is going to make everything so much easier for you to decide not only what to spend your time doing every week, but also if you are going to invest in something, which I certainly encourage you to continue investing in your growth, but being discerning to say, is this actually something that aligns with the life I'm trying to create, me as a person, the circumstances that I'm in right now, the season that I'm in, and the type of people that I work with? Because even some strategies work really well for business coaches and don't really work as well for a nutritionist or a therapist or a financial advisor, right? Like, I think we really just need to learn that discernment and spend some time clarifying what it is that makes us unique, what it is that we want to be doing, what success looks like, what does a day in your life look like that actually feels good and supports the things that you want to do, and really taking those into account and then making decisions about your business from there. So we've all been sold the proven system. I also have said my system is proven. Technically it is. It has been used to help a lot of people make really good money in their businesses. That said, pretty much any proven system, especially if it doesn't have any sort of choose your own adventure element to it, every proven system that you might be buying into is somebody's personality and strengths that they have turned into a process. Some people are better than others at creating a step-by-step process. I've been in a variety of programs, and some of them, the teacher or the coach is really, really good at transferring that skill, teaching you how to do it for yourself. And then other people that I've worked with are all about just sharing what they're doing, and maybe it'll work for you, maybe it won't, but they're not really teaching the thought behind it. They're just basically like, saying, here's what I'm doing, go do it. But really, ultimately, most systems that people are sharing that are the proven system that will grow your business is going to be based on the things that worked for them. So the coach teaching the daily yap videos, she probably enjoys being on camera. She is energized by it. She likes the process of learning how to talk. She's got the personality that matches that kind of content creation. So of course, her system is going to be around showing up on video and posting every day. Nothing wrong with that. I have clients that also have that same kind of personality and skill set, and it's great for them. But for other clients that I've worked with, that kind of content creation makes them want to jump out a window. So if you're not clear on whether or not your personality is a match for something, you might buy a system that is a total non-starter for you. I've worked with mentors that taught to not use sales calls. I actually think sales calls are great for a lot of people, and I use sales calls. I actually really don't mind sales calls. That's because for whatever reason, my personality is a fit for that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't learn the skill, but for some people, being on sales calls is not necessarily the best way for them to sell, because that's not the thing that really lights them up, and it's not the way that they necessarily want to enroll a client. My former mentor didn't ever want to have a sales call, and that's great. There is nothing wrong with that. But if you're teaching people to not need sales calls, and you're the kind of person who really just crushes sales calls, then that might not be a good fit for you, right? Because it might actually hurt your conversion rate, and it's not necessarily giving you the ROI that you want. Because if you just got on a sales call and you had a system that pre-sold and those sales calls were really pre-qualified clients, it would actually probably be really easy for you to make the sale, and it would feel good. Maybe there's a coach teaching the fully automated funnel system that just sells a self-study course on autopilot and there's no human touch. Totally fine if that's the kind of business you want to run. If somebody is like massively introverted, doesn't really like working with clients, then yeah, like having a fully automated, no contact funnel and delivery system is great for them. I personally love interacting with my clients. I love having that higher touch experience. I love participating in my clients' transformations. And so having this just automated, never interacting with people funnel would not be a good fit for me. Not to say that it wouldn't be a good fit for you, but this is where that discernment around your personality, your strengths, the things that really help you make money, and making sure that you are clear on that before you try to build a process. Because if you try to run a system that doesn't match you, it is going to run on willpower, even if it's low touch. Like if you're running this like really low touch funnel, just like high volume traffic system, you still need to put the willpower into filling that funnel. And maybe it's running ads, maybe it's creating organic content that gets a lot of eyeballs. For me, volume is not my skill set. I can get attention for my stuff, but if I need to be getting thousands and thousands of leads a day, that requires a level of willpower to do certain things in my business that is not actually a good fit for me. And that means it's less profitable than if I have a higher touch, lower volume, more selective business model. So I think people think that this burnout or willpower or like white knuckling comes from how much proximity your clients get or how much of you that is in the sales system. And honestly, it's not that. It really is running a business that is not a match for your strengths and requires you to do things that are not naturally easy for you or not naturally something that you are built for. This is why a lot of people end up having those income roller coasters, because they'll go really hard on a strategy for maybe it's a month, maybe it's a few months, and it'll work. Because again, I really do think almost any strategy out there can work if you do the strategy, right? And so you'll end up on this really heavy willpower-based strategy that works for a while and you start to get that growth. And then the willpower runs out, the white knuckling just gets too much, you feel burnt out, you need a break. And then of course the system breaks and you stop making the money. And that is where a lot of these income roller coasters happen. You have a really good month, you slow down because, oh my gosh, this is exhausting. And then your income massively drops. And then you get into a panic and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to market again. And then you like go hard on that strategy again. So you get another spike. And then you take a breather and then there's another dip. If you've had that experience before, you are not alone. That is most of my clients, myself included, using strategies that are not aligned with you. And truly those income swings are a design problem. It's not a discipline problem. It's not like you're not cut out for entrepreneurship. I will say for myself, I have spent about the last 6 to 8 weeks really hardly putting any content out. I mean, I'm not like totally off the grid, but I have really stepped back this summer to recalibrate things and to, make sure that I'm presenting things that are relevant to the direction my business is going in. And I still had a close to 40K month in July, possibly more. I actually haven't done the numbers yet, without really being very present online. And the reason why that can happen for me is because of the compounding assets that I've built in my business that allow me to have that ebb and flow on social media or ebb and flow in my content creation that actually fits my energy and fits my personality. I don't have to worry that if I don't show up on Instagram for a couple weeks that, and when I say I don't show up, I mean, we have automations, we have, things that go out with my team, but it's like twice a week and it's just speed posts. Like that is not an Instagram strategy. That is not something that's going to be like massively driving sales. But I have built this business so that social media is really just like extra and not the only way that I make money. And so that is the kind of system that I want you to be thinking about, is what is a system that allows you to really show up with the skills and the expertise and the way of communicating and the way of being present in your business that feels good to you. And let's really build that as the foundation of your business so that even if you want to throw in a few experimental strategies, that is not the thing that's going to make or break your revenue for the month. So we need to look at the 3 core functions of your business. That is how you deliver your services, how you sell your services, and how you market your services. All 3 of those can be personalized to you. It can be personalized to your strengths, your skills, your energy type, your way of making decisions, your way of showing up in the world, the things that you need to protect in your life offline. All of it can be baked in to your business model in those 3 areas. What you do need, however, is strong decisions made in each of those 3 areas, clear decisions, focus, really knowing what your biggest needle movers are in each of those 3 areas of your business so you can put your energy towards those things in a consistent, effective way. And that is what grows your business over time and keeps things stable and keeps things consistent and predictable versus throwing all the spaghetti at the wall, doing 20 different strategies at once, not really being sure what's working and feeling totally burnt out and unpredictable revenue. Again, you have those ebbs and flows in more of like a wild swing experience versus like your normal ebbs and flows in business. It just feels like you're on a roller coaster. And so that is what personalization of your business model is going to give you. Because most advice, other than just being based on the expert's personality, which honestly I just think is I think it's a really common thing in business coaching because business coaching is not regulated. I will admit I don't have any formal education in business coaching. It is all based on a combination of education from a variety of sources, personal experience, learning certain strategies, just being able to translate that learning into action plans, right? And so I don't have a degree in business coaching. I don't have an MBA. And a lot of business coaches don't. Most business coaches don't. Versus in my former career as a registered dietitian, I had a degree. I had a master's degree. I had a license. I had to take an exam to prove that I knew what I was talking about. And I feel like there was a lot more nuance and I don't know, it's almost like you get taught to really value evidence and really value like what actually works for people, versus in the business coaching space, I've found this to be true, that a lot of coaches are just like, whatever makes the money, right? It's like, whatever I need to do to make the money, that is what I'm going to do. And then I'll just teach it, unfortunately, is how a lot of people do it. So I think I'm in kind of a unique situation where I have that background of seeing the nuance, seeing that, you know, there's no such thing as one size fits all, seeing that there are certain foundational principles that can be applied, but the exact way that that gets applied to each individual has to be unique, right? It can't all just be the same cookie cutter formula. And so for me, this year has really just been like a doubling down on that concept, because I find that a lot of the business advice out there is all around creating something that takes you out of the business as much as possible. And I mentioned this before, I really like being in my business as the coach, as the mentor. I like knowing my clients. I like being privy to their transformation, to their challenges, to their fears, their frustrations, their wins. All of that is what fuels me in this whole business. And to remove myself from that literally destroys the thing that actually fuels my passion and desire for the business. So if that's you, if you're like, I love the work that I do, I love coaching clients, I love going deep with people, I promise you can have a very profitable, successful business doing that when you have other systems in place to support that. So it's not about scaling yourself out of delivery. It's not about hiring a bunch of team members necessarily, unless you want to. It's about simplifying things and basing that simplicity off of what you are best at. Because I see this all the time. People have like 4 different offers that they're trying to sell, and none of them are optimized, and they're just confusing their audience and making it way harder to sell them. Or you're just selling sessions or even packages of sessions so that every month you're starting at 0. Clients are buying your time instead of a transformation, and you hit that reset every month with, now I need to make more sales. Now I need to make more sales. Or you're a mom like me, and your way of selling requires you to be online, posting on Instagram 5 times a day, whether that's feed posts or stories or whatnot. And maybe you just literally do not have the energy or time for that. And you don't want to be chronically on social media either. And so if that's the business model that you're learning, where you have to be like selling in the DMs and just like posting all the time and, you know, have 100 conversations a day, like that may not feel possible or desirable for you. And so that's where we need to look at your business model, because ultimately, again, I'm a huge fan of foundational principles. And one of the foundational principles of an online expertise-based business is you need an offer, you need a sales process, and you need a marketing or traffic strategy. That is like the bare bones of a functioning business. And if you have one strong element in each of those areas that is personalized to you, that is something that can absolutely get you to multi-six figures, maybe even 7 figures or more in your business. And you do not have to be adding a new strategy every month. You get to double down on the things that are working, and you get to really feel that sense of stability in your business that doesn't require you to be chasing the next best thing all the time. So how do we do this? There's a lot of different ways you can get clear on your personality and what would be important for you to account for in your business. One way that you can do that is you can take my CEO Types quiz. You can go to the links in the link in the show notes, or DM me the word quiz on Instagram. That walks you through a process of identifying what your natural tendencies are in business so that you can actually create offers and sales systems and marketing systems that match that. So you're really like capitalizing on your natural strengths and talents versus trying to be someone that you're not. There's 4 different types in that process, and it's not like they're not like a black and white, this is the only way you can do things, but it gives you ideas, right? It gives you ways to think about things. And when I have clients that take this quiz and they identify with it, they start to see how, okay, I can add these things into my business. I can take this piece out. I can really double down on this because that is my natural skill set. And it's going to just be so much easier for me to do it that way than to do it the way that somebody else said I needed to do it. So if you want to know your CEO type, the quiz is linked in the show notes. I definitely recommend taking that to just get you started on this personality process. There's a lot of other things you can do. This is something that I teach my clients in my Foundry program, because it's not just about your CEO type. It's also about the season you're in, the life you want to protect, the goals you have, even the circumstances, right? Like, I am the sole income generator in my family. My husband does ads management through our company, but it's still through our company, right? Or my company. So the clients that he's working with came from me, but my business is our sole source of income. I have 2 kids under 4. I'm the kind of person that needs a lot of sleep. I need a lot of downtime. I need a flexible, low stress calendar. And so I need to build my business in a way that supports that. So I need to limit how many calls I have on my calendar each week. I need to keep my sales and marketing routines streamlined so that if I had a rough night, or my kid's sick, or, we went on vacation, or whatever, right? Anything I need or want to do with my family, that my business doesn't just like crash and burn because I was out of commission for a few days or out of commission for a week. I really don't work much more than 20 hours a week most weeks. Maybe there's a few weeks here and there that it's a little bit more, but I am doing multi-6 figures on 20 hours a week for the most part, and some weeks it's less, because I've designed it that way and because I know what I need to thrive, both based on my personality and based on my circumstances. I mentioned before, I'm moving away from that evergreen high-ticket group program model, because with my, I think it was like 2-3 years of experience doing that, I realized that rolling enrollment meant teaching the same concepts and coaching on the same concepts almost every other week at that point. And for me personally, like, that is like one-way ticket to just complete unhappiness as an expert. I want to talk about new things. I want to keep moving towards something. And to go back to the beginning week after week was not a good fit for me. I love watching people go through a transformation. And if it's in a group, it needs to be a group transformation. And if people are coming in and out every single week and I'm starting from scratch every week, that just was not happening. And that was my experience running the evergreen group model. It's not the same running evergreen one-on-one. I have people coming in and out of my one-on-one offers all the time. It feels differently because the transformation is very high touch. I am in it with that person. I know what's going on in their business and their life. Like, we have a lot of communication happening. I am totally fine selling my one-on-one services year round. But if I'm going to run a group program, especially a higher ticket group program, I am no longer doing the people coming in and out all the time model. But again, there's nothing wrong with that. I have clients that do it. It's really just a matter of, what do you need to feel good in your own business? And for me, I need to see the results that my clients are getting and not just feel like we're starting from zero every single month. So ultimately, none of the strategies out there are inherently broken or wrong. I mean, some of them are terrible, but like, most of them are fine. Most of them work. Most of them can work. And it's really just a matter of figuring out what strategy is the way that you're wired. Like, which one is the match? Which one does your life have room for? Which one capitalizes on the way that you already naturally show up? That is what we want to look at. So before you invest time, money, attention, energy, whatever, in a new strategy, you want to ask yourself, first of all, could I do this every week or every month, depending on the cadence of the strategy, or every day, maybe even, without it being this white knuckling forced experience? Think about your normal week. Think about your normal energy levels. Think about what is typical. Do not think about your best week. Do not think about your ideal week, because I know for me personally, I had to really let go of this past experience of being not a mom, even not married. When I started my business, I was single, I had no kids. I could work all day and I had a lot of energy, and I cannot do it like that anymore. I don't want to do it like that anymore. So understanding that the strategy needs to fit into your average day, not your best day. What's normal for you? Because even normal is unpredictable for a lot of us, right? Like, you don't know if your kid's going to be homesick. You don't know if you're going to have childcare. Like, there's things that change, and you need to build a strategy that accounts for that, not pretends like that's not happening to you. And then the second question is, does the strategy build on the existing system that you have that is a match for you. So maybe you already have some things built in your business that are a good match for you. Is adding the strategy helping build on that, or is it going to distract from it? Because if you are adding unnecessary complexity to your business, the things that are working are going to start breaking, and then you're actually going to make less money, and you're going to be stressed and frustrated and wasting a lot of time, money, and energy. And so you need to be discerning about, is this new strategy going to enhance what I'm already doing that's already working, or is it going to take time and attention and energy away from what I'm doing and then make nothing work that well? Simplicity is what scales. So if you are making your business excessively complicated, that in and of itself could be the source of the revenue roller coaster, and you do not want to just add complexity for no reason. We want to add things that compound what's already working, and sometimes it's not about adding, it's just about enhancing what's already happening. So if you're looking at a strategy or looking at a program or a course or a coach or whatever, does that strategy, first of all, meet your needs right now in the season you're in, the type of person that you are? Is it actually going to be something that feels good to execute? And then is it going to make the system that you already have work better? And if you're in a situation where you're like, well, my system that I have right now sucks and I hate it and I don't know what's working, then there needs to be a process of auditing what exists currently and deciding what stays, what goes before you pack on more strategy on top of that. That's what I do with my clients. We start with the alignment process. We look at their personality type, their circumstances, their goals, what they're trying to protect in their offline life. We make sure all of that is really clear first. And then we audit what exists in their current business to decide what stays and what goes and what needs changed. Because for most people, they don't need to blow up their whole business. They just need to make some things that are not working for them actually work for them. Or they need to shift some things that are more of the bottleneck, right? So it's not this just blow your business up and start over situation. It's take what's working and enhance it and double down on it and get rid of the things that are not working for you. So that's the audit process. And then from there, we move into the amplification stage, which is taking the things that are working and make them work even better. Again, simplicity is what scales. The more simple your business can be, the better. It's going to help you make more money. It's going to help you take care of yourself more. It's going to keep the mental drain low, because you probably have other stuff in your life that's draining your mental energy. The last thing you need is a business that does it too. And it creates that predictable, strategic, and streamlined approach to sales, marketing, program delivery, so that you're not just like on this roller coaster all the time. Your business model can protect your energy instead of draining it. It can create consistency, even if you're the kind of person that doesn't necessarily want to show up the same every way. There are systems you can build that allow for consistency in your business so that you yourself can have some of that variety of energy or variety of schedule or variety of visibility. Nobody should have a business that stops making money if they take time off or if they don't post on Instagram for a week, right? Like, I just don't think anybody wants to have a business that is so directly tied to how much time you are online, or if you take time off, or if you need a break, or if you're on maternity leave, or if you have a sick parent that needs your attention, or just all the things that happen in life, right? I think all of us have stuff going on in our life that requires some flexibility in our time or energy or attention or schedule, and your business should support that. So that is how I'm feeling about personalization in your business right now. I would love to hear from you. Is that how you're feeling too? Are you noticing that there's certain things in your business that don't feel like they're a match for you, whether they ever were, or if it's just the new version of you, there's a new season that you're in, it's just not working anymore. Maybe it never worked for you. Are you even clear about what that is? Or does it just feel very nebulous where you're like, something's off in my business, but I'm not sure what it is? This is so normal and common. I think most entrepreneurs go through some experience of that, where the thing that they built isn't really working for them the way they want it to anymore. So if you're feeling that way, just trust me when I say you are absolutely not alone. And I really do think moving into the second half of 2026, 2027 and beyond, people who do the work to personalize their business to them, as well as the people that they want to work with, are the ones who are going to keep growing and keep making sales, while the people who want to use those cookie cutter, everybody does the same thing, just scale the founder out of it, make it like super automated to the point where you're like not even in the business anymore. That I don't think is going to work at some point, whether it's next year or maybe sooner, right? Because I think there's a lot of this generic AI driven, everybody's sounding the same because they're all just trying to use these proven systems in a very templated way, and it is hurting people's businesses. So the more that you can show up and be clear about who you are, what makes you unique, how you serve your clients, and what can't be copied, which is you and your essence and the way you see the world, that building that into your business is going to help you have a better business, a more profitable, sustainable, predictable business, as well as have clients who are actually super excited to work with you and want to pay you because they want to do things the way you do it. The experts who are going to win in online business are the ones who are personalizing their businesses at every layer. And that business model component is only part of what you might be personalizing. So this actually is a great segue to the invitation for a free panel that I'm organizing and hosting with 3 other really awesome entrepreneurs that I have met this year. People that I've connected with both personally and professionally, and people who have very similar philosophies as me, but different focuses in their business. So I wanted to bring this panel together to really give you different perspectives on this concept of personalization, both in your business and the way you show up, and also the way that you communicate with your clients and the needs that they have to have things personalized to them. And the good news is personalization does not have to mean way more work for you. You can actually build systems that help personalize things for you, for your clients, and it doesn't have to be reinventing the wheel all the time. So we're really looking at 2 angles for personalization. One is the way that your business becomes unmistakably yours, and you're really creating something that suits you and reflects you in the public marketplace. And part of it is about how personalization can make every client that you work with feel like your offer and your sales process was built for them. You do need both. It's not just about personalizing it to you. And the more you can create that dynamic, human-centered business, the more you'll be able to defend against, the AI stuff, the more you'll be able to stand out from competition, the more you'll really start to own your market and be that category of one that people choose to work with because of the way that you're presenting publicly. So I'm going to do a quick rundown of the 3 experts that I'm bringing into the panel. And if you want to sign up for this panel, it is happening on August 12th at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Everybody who signs up for it will get the replay. So don't worry if that's not an available time for you. You will get the replay and you'll be able to watch what we're chatting about in that panel. If you can come live, I definitely recommend that you come live because we'll be doing a Q&A afterwards. But I'm super excited about this. So our 3 guest panelists are Megan Yelaney, who personalizes your message to you. Most coaches borrow their messaging from their industry and they end up sounding like everyone else. Whereas Megan helps her clients pull out what's already yours, including your story and the way you help people get results, and turn it into a publicly ownable and recognizable point of view. That way people show up asking for you by name instead of price shopping against someone with half your experience, which if you've ever experienced that before, that is the most frustrating thing, when people just want to buy who's cheapest versus buying what is the best. And you, my friend, are the best. Our second guest is Heather Sager. Heather takes the part that AI can't copy, which is who you are and how you're showing up as a leader. Because truthfully, anyone can write a polished script with AI now. So the exact words you're using aren't necessarily what sets you apart anymore. What's left is your presence, including how you show up on camera, with your clients, or even on stages. So she'll show you why the same sentence can land so differently depending on who says it, and what to change about the way you're communicating so that who you are shines through and that people are buying because they're resonating with who you are at your core. And then my third panelist is Linda Sidhu. Linda is a master at personalizing the experience for every lead, not just your clients, but even leads that join your list. And her quiz funnels specifically make people feel known from the first click. So instead of one funnel that talks at everybody the same way, your marketing has a different conversation with each person based on who they are. That means you get better leads, warmer sales conversations, a more personalized sales experience, and even the clients that come to work with you can also have a more personalized experience as well. So those are our 3 panelists, Megan Yelaney, Heather Sager, and Linda Sidhu. And then I am taking the layer underneath all 3, which is personalizing your business model to you. So your offer, delivery, sales and marketing routine, building everything around how you work best, how you naturally show up, and the life that you're living. That's what decides whether you can keep going sustainably for years to come and build a business that compounds over time versus just being on that income roller coaster that starts to go down every time you stop showing up online. So everybody's strategies that they're going to talk about in this panel are going to be built for a model that fits you, and you get to decide which ones are going to fit your needs and your goals the best. So I'm super excited. We're going to have a conversation that really dives into each functional layer of your business. And by the end of it, you'll start to understand more about how you can really personalize your business to you and attract the clients that you're super excited to work with, who are excited to pay you what your expertise deserves. So like I said, this is a free live panel happening on August 12th at 12:30 Eastern, 12:30 p.m. I should say. Of course, we're not doing it at midnight. And you will get the replay when you sign up, but I do recommend coming live because we'll have plenty of time for Q&A. Check the link in the show notes, or you can DM me the word panel on Instagram and I'll share the link with you there. I hope you'll join us. And for now, I'll look forward to seeing you here next week on the Nourished CEO podcast. Take care, everybody. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Nourished CEO podcast. And if this episode got you thinking about how you're actually wired to run your business, your next step is to take the CEO type quiz. Because here's the thing. Most of the business advice out there was built for someone specific. And if that someone isn't you, it doesn't matter how hard you work or how many strategies you implement. It's just never going to feel right, and it's never going to work as well as it should. Knowing your CEO type changes all of that. After you take the quiz, your results page will walk you through your natural strengths, your biggest blind spots, and a concrete game plan for your offers, messaging, sales, and even your calendar, all built around how you actually think and lead. Not generic advice, your specific direction. It takes about 5 minutes and it's completely free. The link is in the show notes, or you can go to lauraschoenfeld.com/quiz. And if you already know your type and this episode resonated with you, share the quiz with someone else who needs it. The right framework at the right time can completely change how someone sees their business. And honestly, that's exactly why I made this. All right, I'll see you next time on the Nourished CEO podcast.